flex me a bad body. Say, oh, it's another one, yeah, it's a full strong, yeah. Oh, it's another one, yeah.
Good evening. Welcome to iBoxingHub. Remember, guys, if you're new to this channel, please subscribe and share and follow us. I go by the name of Biyenge, featuring yours truly, Trey. What's good?
Yes, cuz obviously big up to you, big up to the whole of the community, big up to everyone that's tuned in. So wherever you are, let us know in the chats where you are, and we obviously appreciate your support. So big up to the community. And cuz obviously before we start, I'm wearing the trackie right now. D-Rock, we're obviously working in association with D-Rock. And guys, just make sure you're supporting us by supporting them as well. So I'm going to show you their range. Yes, cuz obviously, you know the video. I absolutely love the video, man. Just for that last little bit, man. So big up to you. Thank you for taking up your time to do it. And guys, make sure you're utilizing the discount code, which is iBoxingHub24, and you get 40% off. That's 40% off. So everything you saw in the video, 40% off it. If you like the trackie that I'm wearing, 40% off. If you like t-shirts, tops, or whatever on there, 40% off. So now, big up to you, cuz, man. And before we obviously get started on the show, I know this news was actually a few days ago, but we're obviously gonna speak about that in more detail. I got to give our shout outs to the rest of the family, of course, for the tremendous work, and especially Abbas as well, man. He obviously did an interview with Specs live in Dublin. He obviously had an interview with Angry Ginge as well, live in Dublin. Interview with Simon Minter in Dublin. And also he did an interview with Malcolm Minicon in Dublin as well. So as you know, Abbas was live in Dublin for, the Misfits event. Guys, whoever was tuned in to the Misfits watch along, we obviously do apologize that obviously that got removed. I'm not too sure what happened. Misfits, they're pretty on top of a lot of things, and maybe they just didn't want other people to do it, man. So big up Ra in the chat as well, and Chris boxing is perfectly timed to the rhythm. Yeah, we 100% agree with you, Ra. Thank you so much for tuning in. But cuz we obviously want to talk about this topic, of course. I understand that the WBO has ordered Fundora to face Crawford. Cuz we've not spoken about this topic. This is why we've got the end of the week roundup, because we can obviously talk about these things. Cuz, what's your thoughts about the WBO ordering this fight for Crawford, of course, because he's the interim, right?
Yeah, of course. It's interesting, but it's just, is Crawford willing to take this fight? Because my understanding, he wants Canelo. And not just that, when Fundora beat Tim Tszyu, it was Fundora was supposed to fight Errol Spence. So where does that leave Errol Spence?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. And also, look at this picture here. Tim Tszyu's absolutely angry. He's pissed. For me, why is Tim Tszyu not getting his rematch? Do you know what I mean? He defended his title. No, he didn't defend his title. He put his title on the line. Obviously, due to circumstances, he obviously lost that fight. But why isn't the WBO ordering for that rematch for Zoo to happen?
No rematch clause in it. So, as far as I'm concerned, well, it's on Fundora. If he wanted to fight Tim Tszyu again, then he could. But I suppose he's on a level where I don't know. He wants to unify the division. So let's just say, this is a big say, if he was to beat Crawford, his next opponent will be who's currently champion in that division.
What, 154?
Yeah.
Yes, you got Fundora's got obviously 2 of the belts. Guys, get involved in the chat. Involved. Man's name is Chris, Congo Chris. No, big up to Thunder Road. Obviously, we appreciate your support in everything that we do, man. So yeah, because obviously he wants to unify the division.
Yeah, I think that's his aim, to unify the division. But then again, this is Crawford era, so I believe Crawford will cause an upset. So boy.
But is there an upset though? Because if he beats Fundora, I don't think that would be an upset, man. In my opinion, it would just be.
Fundora is a champion. He's a legitimate champion. He can't. He's got 2 WBC and WBO champion, and so for Crawford to come up, and fight a world champion. And
big up Lucy. Big up Lucy. Lucy just confirming, obviously, the IBF champion. Big up to you. Big up to you. So there is obviously an opportunity for Crawford to unify the division, but it's not going to be easy, guys, man.
No, not at all. Not at all. But for the time being, Crawford's in it for the big fights, and I believe this is a big fight. It's for the world title. It's for 2 belts. So I believe Crawford will do the job, but it's just, how would we ever see a Crawford and Errol Spence a rematch at 154? Does Errol deserve a shot at Crawford? I mean, what has he done apart from losing to Crawford at 147? He hasn't done anything at 154. Crawford has done something at 154. Errol has. Sorry, Errol, but he hasn't.
Yeah. No, it's true. It's true, because obviously, big up to Lucy in the chat. Lucy's obviously saying Crawford was the WBO super champion at welterweight, which gave him the right to be mandatory when he chose to move up. Big up to Lucy, 100% agree. So for that, get Spence versus Fundora. Winner gets Zoo, and then Bud has to go back to PBC. And big up to Aisha from Green Diamond Boxing. So guys, she's obviously going to be back here on Monday. So make sure you tune in to whatever interview she has lined up for you. But because it's obviously an interesting scenario. Actually, I still don't think Spence has a trainer as well. So this is also one of the things that is kind of putting things up in the air as well. We know Fundora, though, if it was down to him, he would want that Spence fight. And the reason why he would want that Spence fight is because of simply this. What Errol Spence represents when it comes down to the AT&T Stadium in Texas, he's got a good relationship with obviously the owner. And look, they're going to obviously do big things there, man. So he knows if it's a PBC thing, he's under PBC. Al Heyman keeping it in the umbrella, of course. It's a lot more of an easier situation to obviously make. But, with Crawford being a free agent, it still can be done at the end of the day. I think, regardless, the fights can be done.
But you know what? It's a bit embarrassing, though, because it's like, look, when Fundora won, Errol Spence was like, yeah, I'm next. But yet he hasn't got a trainer, and he's no longer in the mix, and he's put on weight. So it's just it's crazy. Where does he go next? Who does he fight next?
You know what? I reckon what would be a good fight, and look, they've been speaking about it, both of them. I wouldn't mind to see a Tim Tszyu versus Errol Spence. Why not? Them two can fight. Winner, could potentially, fight for one of the titles. There's still the IBF route as well. Obviously, Crawford's holding one of the titles. Fundora's holding 2 of the belts as well. So for me, I don't know what it is yet, but since Errol Spence got his loss, a lot of people kind of trying to put him down the pecking order. He's just lost to one man, which is Crawford. He's just lost to one man. One fight doesn't define his legacy. And if we're kind of sort of get into it as well, this is a little bit of a venting situation as well. So Spence was at welterweight for over a decade, held the titles for quite some time, collected most of the belts, obviously, except the WBL belt, did his part to make that fight happen with Crawford. And, you know, he lost the fight, yes, but it's still not going to define him at the end of the day. So if he decides that he wants to move up and he wants to, you know, fight at 154, at the 154 Division 4 title, he has every right to, man. He has every right to. Of course he does, man. Of course he does, man. So, obviously, Raz saying if Turkey was really about it, he would put a tourney at 154. Bud, Fundora, Zoo, Charlo, Spence, Boots, Ortiz, Madrimov. This is what I like the sound of. If His Excellency does watch these pods, just have a listen, man. Make sure you do. If you're going to do a tournament, I think that would be a tremendous idea, man. And it will be an entertaining one as well. Super 6, Muhammad Ali Trophy. Let's have it. 154 division. It's interesting, man. Just my opinion.
What you're saying, right? Because Fundora and Spence, they're tied up. So you're saying, Fundora and Crawford are tied up. You're saying Spence should fight Tim Tszyu. And
why not?
The winner should fight the winner of Fundora and Crawford.
Exactly. Yeah, why not, man? Why not? Why not? But that's the thing. Everyone's obviously made a good point about, especially Lucy, about him not having a trainer. We need to kind of see who his trainer is. We need to see what the situation is as well. And big up to Hakan Johnson as well. Johansson, loved the energy. He's obviously saying, make sure you add, yes, sir. Definitely, we agree with you as well. Yeah. And also, we got to add in as well Virgil Ortiz as well. He's obviously moved up to 154. He is in that mix. So, yeah, it would be interesting to see what happens as well, cuz, man. Something can be done in that 154 division. And I definitely feel that to settle the score or to settle the arguments between, oh, who's this and who's that, and to get one champion, I think a tournament would be absolutely tremendous.
At this present point, yeah, who would you say is the best in that division? 154.
Who's the best right now? Obviously, it's a bit tough on Tim Tszyu, man. I can't even lie to you, cuz, man. If I'm going for activity, you know, doing his part for the division, you know, I would want to say Tim Tszyu, man, if I'm honest with you, man, because I think that he should be
in the mix.
Yeah, he should have been in that mix, man. If, you know, certain decisions were made, X, Y, Z, but obviously right now you're going to have to say the man of the division is Fundora because he's holding 2 belts right now, man. So, yeah, Fundora. Then obviously you would say Crawford because he's obviously holding the other title. But yeah, like I said, man, I still think it's unfair on Tim Tszyu. I think Tim Tszyu should have, you know, should be fighting for his titles or title, and he should still be in the mix, man. That's why this picture is so powerful because you can see the anger in his face, man, and you can see the damage that he caused Fundora in that fight, man. It was a grueling fight. Ooh, yes, I like this. Yep, I absolutely like this. They're supposedly fighting in October as well, so hopefully, fingers crossed. Because look, I'm a big Tim Tszyu fan, man. When it comes down to legacy, heritage, obviously his dad was a undisputed champion. He's paved his own way, become a world champion, and you know, he holds that grit. So I still want him in the mix. I still think he is in the mix. And let's not write off Tim Tszyu from the 154 division.
But the thing is, yeah, you see this 154 division, Crawford ain't gonna fight all of them. He's only gonna fight champions. Crawford just wants the belt, so he's not gonna fight all of them. So the likes of Tim Tszyu and Crawford, I doubt we'll see that happening unless Tim Tszyu wins the title. Yeah, so I believe if Crawford doesn't get if he doesn't move up to fight Canelo, or sorry, if he doesn't, if the Canelo fight doesn't happen yet, I believe Crawford will try to unify this division and then retire.
Yeah, he should, but because I can't even lie to you, it's a bit of a crazy situation because I just hate the fact that Tszyu has had to be, pushed behind in all of this, man. Because I think that fight is just very unfair. What happened, man? You see the cut that he got on top of his head, cuz that should be written off as a no contest, man. But yet he still fought on. And this is obviously my problem with His Excellency. Look, I don't have any problems, no beef with what he's doing. He's doing tremendous things for boxing, man. But the fact that obviously there was one point he was saying that I won't work with Tim Tszyu's people and all of this stuff. But then Tim Tszyu in interviews is saying, look, I'm happy to work, man. So clearly it must be something to do with his team or whatever, man. So he shouldn't be treated like that because of something that his team has said. So it's just a mad situation. But I agree with you, cuz I think Crawford will only fight champions, and that fight with Canelo though, cuz man, I don't think that is a fight that's gonna happen next, man. It just from the looks of it, man, Canelo kind of looks at it as we saw chinks of what could happen with his fight with Madrimov. So him moving up an extra 2 divisions on top of that, it'd be a bit of a push, man. But it's a fantasy fight that everyone wants to see, of course. Not me per se. Even Denzel himself, on the last show, he said he don't want to see that. So I can't lie, I just don't want to see that, man. So I'm hoping he stays in this division, collects all the titles. So if it's Fundora next, let's have it. Let's make that fight happen.
Well, moving on swiftly, Brian Norman and Boots.
Yes, obviously Brian Norman Jr. has obviously got elevated to a world champion, of course. We've obviously seen the back and forths between his team, Eddie Hearn, regarding the Boots situation. Let's just obviously clarify a few things. Obviously, big up to Fight Will Get Knocked Out. Shout out from the States. No, big up and thank you so much for subscribing, my brother. We obviously do appreciate you. And thank you so much for tuning in. And Hakan's obviously confirming the fight with Tszyu happening in Florida. I think Lucy confirmed that as well. So fingers crossed that does happen. So, Brian Norman Jr. and Jarrell Boots Ennis. Don't know if you're still there. Cuz, you still there? Yes, Cuz, you still there? I'm guessing he's off for a bit, man. So, guys, get involved in the chat. What do you think? Do you think Brian Norman Jr. is ducking Boots? Or do you generally think it's a situation that Brian Norman Jr.'s team just want more money? They're seeing the kind of money that Boots can generate from a fight. So they're probably looking at it like, if Boots is getting, let's say, 5 million, an offer of 1.5 or million, even though we've got 300k in our last fight, we should try to be pushing a little bit more. So guys, just get involved. What is your thoughts? What are you saying? Because yes, obviously you just disappeared secondly, but I was just asking the community, do you think, because is it a duck from Brian Norman Jr., or do you think he generally just wants more money?
I believe his team wants more money. I don't think he's ducking Boots per se, but I think it's the team is demanding too much money.
Yeah,
that's the issue with boxing. So it's just like, if he doesn't fight Boots, he might miss, a big opportunity. He might potentially miss a big payday.
That's what I'm saying.
So it's just one of them ones that it gets annoying sometimes because we want the best to fight the best. And the way I see it, if you believe in yourself,
take it,
and take it, and then on the long run you'll be rewarded. But hey, politics, too much politics.
I agree with you, cuz I agree with you completely, and I think we spoke about this the other day. Similar situation happened with Shakur and Haney. Obviously, Haney's team offered Shakur a certain amount of money. They looked at it and were like, no, we're worth more, But it just goes down to, obviously, Ra's obviously getting involved in the chat. He's obviously saying, I'm giving him a chance. Turkey has paid English level guys way too much, so it's reasonable to expect proportional pay for a unification. That I 100% agree with Ra. I 100% agree. I'm not in favor of fighters, trying to push their luck to get a little bit more, but clearly, because he's obviously pushing to get more money, is frustrating Eddie, because Eddie's thinking like, I've offered you, I think offered him like 1.5 or whatever. Their team have said no. In their last fight, I think they received around 300k. So the difference from 300k to $1 million, that's a big jump. But the fact that they're asking for more is showing you like, these guys are getting a bit too greedy, man. But I understand, man, that the IBF is about to force Boots into his mandatory. So if he doesn't take it, he might just get stripped. And I think Boots might move up. I think Boots might move up the division. So Norman Sr. said, if Turkey's backing Boots, then their expectations aren't unreasonable. Because this is what I'm saying. And this is the problem that we're now facing in boxing. And it's not his fault, His Excellency. It's the fault of the events that he's put on and who he's paid. For example, like certain fighters have been paid shitloads of money, cuz shitloads of money. So these guys are fairly saying, you know what, just offer up a little bit more. But Eddie's just being Eddie. He's frustrated. He's just like, look, this is the most that you've made. Take it or leave it kind of situation. So I understand Ra's points. Thunder Road is obviously saying, which one of you is a Man United supporter midfield? Got their chain? Yeah, of course, man. Obviously, I support Man United, representing always. Liverpool got their dub, but we're still here. We still do shows, and it doesn't stop me from doing what we do, man. So,
how much are they asking for?
I don't know. This is why, obviously, big up to Mr. Neutral. He does tremendous work in the back end. He's obviously gonna, have that interview with Brian Norman Sr. eventually on the channel. It's just obviously rescheduling. He would obviously ask what they want exactly, but I'm sure what they want is not unreasonable compared to what the other fighters have got. Plus now, he's been elevated to world champion as well, man. So he is now a world champion, man. So he has every right to ask for a certain amount of money. But what we need to know is, how much is he asking? Because if let's say, for example, an offer of, I don't know what the figures, let's say he's been offered 1.5 and they're trying to hold out for maybe 3 million. That's not too bad. But if it's a situation where they're asking for 4 or 5, that's pushing. Do you know what I mean? That's pushing it. But I doubt it's even that, in my opinion.
Because, if this fight doesn't happen, Boots could potentially move up to 154. And him moving up to 154, I would want him to fight Errol Spence.
Ooh, okay. Well, you're saying Spence versus Boots, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. That fight was supposed to happen at 147 when Spence was the IBF champion. Boots was mandatory for a while. So yeah, if that fight happens, that would be an interesting fight. Obviously, you got the younger fighter in Boots, but I think Spence is also on the same kind of wavelength as Crawford. I think he just wants the
Big fights, yeah.
big fights, big payouts, man. So yeah, unless it's for a title or whatever. I know it's a bit. Oh, how comes Errol can go for these big fights? Because he's just lost one fight. That I just don't understand guys and people that are trying to put down Errol Spence. Like, remember, he held titles for a long period of time at welterweight. He made the fights happen at welterweight, man. He fought Crawford in the end, man. So they shouldn't get onto him too much about that, man. So I think Boots could vacate and not fight in mandatory, which is true. A lot of people are saying that he potentially not going to fight his mandatory, cuz, man. So, yeah, what's your thoughts about that, cuz? Should he?
I don't know. I mean,
should he not stay in the division and try to clear it out?
I think, see, that's the thing, because he's been in that division for time as well. This is how I see it. He's got two options. Yeah. Well, Eddie could pay. What's his name now?
Brian Norman Jr.
Yeah. He could pay him the money that he's asked for. Yeah. Make the fight happen, and then I don't know, perhaps put a rematch clause there. Do you know what I mean? Or Boots vacates and moves up.
That's what I'm saying, man. But cuz, are we not forgetting that he's got other, champions?
No,
Mario
of course, but that's what I'm saying. Like, it's just
Staniosis. Like, there's these fights that can be made, but apparently,
yeah,
with Staniosis, I think Eddie's quite frustrated with him because they've been kind of going back and forth on Twitter, and I think Eddie's saying that his team's not really serious. They're trying to get more money and all of this stuff. So, yeah, it's just a difficult situation. But for me, in the ideal world, I would want him to stay at 147, unify the divisions. You've obviously still got, opponents that you could potentially fight. Yes, that would mean him, fighting his mandatory. It's a trait. Why the same guys keep getting their chances so quickly, which is true. It just shows you that the welterweight division right now, it's just no one's not really there. There's not really enough fighters there, man. For
it's not the same no more.
It's not the same no more, man. Everyone's kind of picked up. But what we're gonna find though soon, cuz, is we've seen people move up to 154, but we're gonna see the same 140 pounders move up as well eventually as well.
Yeah,
we see, the likes of, we saw him, the takeover, we saw the clip of him training with with Canelo as well. I think that's absolutely tremendous. And he looked sharp, he looked good, man. So I think definitely, why not Teofimo fight Brian Norman Jr.? I think that would be a good fight. 147. You want to have your name in a division, if you want to fight a proper name, if you can't get Boots, Teofimo, I think that would be a good fight, man.
Yeah. True, but then female arts would the one for more money. That's how it goes, back to square one.
Yeah.
But I wanted to quickly talk about Wembley. So their broken record, I believe, is 96,000.
Yes, cuz. So yeah, they confirmed. They obviously got their extension granted, so the capacity is looking like it's gonna be a lot, man. And cuz you've seen the card, you've seen what's going on. Has your thoughts changed, or is it still the same, man? You
know what?
You confident AJ is gonna steamroll?
Yeah, it's still the same. It's just I was watching an interview with Coogan and Crawford. What he's saying is that none of them deserve to fight for the IBF title, because when Herkovich fought Triple D, what was that for?
Interim.
Right. Okay. So basically, what he's saying is AJ and Triple D should be fighting for the British title, which don't make sense to me because we've already got a British champion. Do you know what I mean? So because what he's saying basically,
Woodley's the champion.
Sorry.
Woodley's the British champion, man.
I know. But what he's saying is that whoever wins the fight, he doesn't class them as a champion. He classes them as an IBF champion, but not a world champion, because we only have one world champion. That's Usyk. What's your thoughts about that? I think I hear what he's saying, but dude, if they're fighting for IBF world title and you win it, you become a world champion.
Yeah, you know what? Because I'm not gonna lie, I'll defend the Cobra here, man. I'll definitely defend the Cobra as a legend. I definitely think that the reason why he's voicing his opinion is because if you look at his career, he's not been in a situation where he's been elevated to titles, to champions, and he's been, holding interim belts, and he's been in fights after fights, top fights, top fights. Now we're just in a situation now where, a lot of these things are happening with the interim titles and, these scenarios. It's unfortunate. This is what's happened, but rules is rules, and it is what it is at the end of the day, cuz man. So obviously we know Usyk as the undisputed champion in our mind, but because he had a mandatory against the IBF interim champion, which is obviously Dubois, he's had to obviously vacate his title in this situation. So that's elevated the interim champion, unfortunately. Yes, I don't like these things that happen in boxing, of course, but obviously big up to Arnando Nieves. Big up to you, brother. Big up, big up. I think this is a new person. Thank you so much for tuning in. Salute. Teofimo hasn't KO'd nobody in 140, and do you think he can do it at 147? Oh, cuz, that's a good question. I'm going to throw that over to you. What do you think?
Well, he's never fought 147 before, so it's a good question. There's a possibility that he can, but again, it depends on who he's fighting.
Yeah, no, it's true. And Hakan's obviously just confirming here that Daniel Dubois is already the IBF champion, obviously after Usyk vacated the title. Usyk is the heavyweight champion of the world and has gone 3-0 against two of the guys that's about to fight for the other belts. Thank you, Lucy. Thank you. Thank you for just putting it out there, man. And look, it's just in the ideal world, the Usyk versus Fury 2 fight should be for all the belts. But unfortunately, with all the organizations and the mandatories and the rules and the regulations, it's just one of those things, man. But I think the IBF, they could have easily put this to the side and said, look, this is a big undisputed fight. You get paid XYZ. But I think Usyk's just being a good guy as well. He just thought, F the hassle, let these two fight for the title. I've already beaten them both. So, it'll be a good blessing for the British community as well, man. So, look, I think it'll be good, man. So, because I'm not even going to lie to you, the more that we see this fight, the more I'm just thinking to myself that this card is going to be just absolutely juicy, cuz, man. I just can't wait for it, man. I can't wait for it, cuz.
Not long left, man. Not long left.
Long left, cuz. Not left, man. It's around the corner.
Yeah. I mean, my last question on this topic. Do you feel that AJ and Triple D deserve to be in this position, to be fighting for the IBF? What? Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah, just to kind of just add to what I was saying before here, Lucy's just confirming here as well. The IBF, they're quite strict. They strip you, no problem. They strip Canelo, Crawford, and look, now Usyk's about to get stripped as well. So they're pretty savage, man. So I think if you are... Wait, let me just see what Ralph's saying. I don't like this interim champ nonsense. Usyk and Fury are the problem. Yeah, it's true. It was basically down to these two. That's why we're in this situation now, because the negotiation and with Fury getting the injuries and postponing, that's probably the reason. So obviously Ralph brought up a good point. To answer your question, cuz I think, yeah, of course they deserve it, because rightfully so, Triple D, he won the interim title against Herkovich, and when Usyk vacated the title, what happens? You get that email from the IBF, you get elevated to a champion, man. So yeah, he's the champion. Same thing that happened to obviously different organization, but same thing happened to Brian Norman Jr. Same thing happened to Boots Ennis. Same thing happened, cause this is the thing that's happening in boxing nowadays, which it's a shame it happens, man. But it's just part of the rules now, unfortunately, because we just have to accept it, part of the rules, and even if we think they do deserve it or not, what can we do? It's the IBF, man. They got their rules. They're quite strict, and you've seen what they've done to Usyk, Crawford, and now what happened to a few other fighters, man.
Is what it is, man. Well, roll on the 21st of September. Big event, big fight.
No, cuz I'm excited, man. I'm excited. And big up to Arnaldo Nieves. Thank you so much for tuning in as well. Boots moving up to 154. He's the real problem for Crawford, and I see Boots beating Crawford. Ooh, I like it. I like it, man. It's coming through with energy. Even if you take the world heavyweight championship out of the equation, Dubois versus AJ is just a good fight between two really good heavyweights. I don't care what title's on the line, which is true. You're going to see a slugfest, man. You're going to see an absolute slugfest. You saw, the confrontation between the two of them, and you never know. I think it's brought out the roadman in AJ. So he's probably thinking, I've got to just handle this boy quickly, man. But at the same time, Triple D, he's saying, look, I'm not afraid of you, man. I'm holding this title, man. You got to get this title off me. You're coming out first to the ring, right? He's coming out first to the ring. Well, you got to wait for me, the champ. So
remember, it's still AJ's show, but yeah, it is what it is.
It's true. It's true, cuz. It's true, man. It's true.
Yeah.
It's true, man. But big up to you. Big up to everyone as well. Armando's obviously saying he's liked the channel. Thank you so much for subscribing. We obviously appreciate you. And Hakan's obviously saying 96k is going to be the confirmed, the capacity. Stick around. You're going to love it. No, of course, big up to Lucy. She's been following us for such a long time. And so now we appreciate you. We appreciate the energy. And cuz, you heard it. Capacity is going to be 96k. And I believe it was sold out as well, cuz, man. So, tremendous job overall from His Excellency, Eddie Hearn, Frank Warren, everyone that's involved, of course, man. So big up to them, man. But we're obviously coming up to the end of the show, of course. Obviously, I just wanted to, big up yourself, big up to the whole community. Thank you guys for the support. Remember, we don't do these shows for us. We've gone past the stage where we're doing it for us. We do it for you guys. We just want to give you guys a voice, but then at the same time, give you access through the content that we put together for you guys. So just thank you so much for your support. Cuz, before we wrap up, is there anything that you kind of saw online that you thought, you know what, we got to quickly discuss it on the show?
Nah, nothing. No.
We've covered it all, man. We've covered it all. People, thank you so much for tuning in. Just before we wrap up, of course, we've got to shout out D-Rock, working in association with them. So guys, check out their range. Cuz, just before we wrap up, Lucy, this is why I love Lucy, man. Big up to you. Yes, big one. Obviously, Nue is back. Cuz, we know what the monster's gonna do, man. I'm going for
6 rounds.
Under 5 rounds, I would say. under 5 rounds will get the stoppage. He normally does. And yeah, Ra, we agree with you. Autumn starts tomorrow. And yeah, this is the last weekend of the summer, cuz. So yeah, we gotta enjoy it, of course. But cuz, no, big up to you once again, and big up to the community. And yeah, let me hand that over to you. But yeah, I love the promo once again, cuz I think, you know, when you're doing the shadow boxing, you're proper in rhythm with the thing, man. Like, yeah, I'm just thinking, oh man,
I'm literally messing around.
I love
But
that.
yeah, no, guys, look, thank you for your continuous support. You know, keep following us. As you can see, we're growing. We pretty much have podcasts pretty much every day. Oh, you didn't tell them about our schedule.
Oh yes. Sorry, people. Obviously, because we have a new viewer, so our weekly schedule does follow. So Mondays we've got Green Diamond Boxing, which is with our sister Aisha. Tuesday we've obviously got the Stay Waiting show, which features Abbas and Ray, and we've also got, you know, across the way from the US to the UK, we've got Chill Dollar Bill, and you've got our brother Rico. On Wednesdays, obviously, we're back here doing the roundup. And then on Thursdays, we've got the Aruna Hour with Ra in the chat and Rico. And Fridays, we've got, you know, Neutral's Hard Talk. And we've also got the crossover where Abbas covers, you know, the YouTube crossover scene. And once again, big up to Abbas, who's obviously did interviews with Spexcon Gonzalez, Angry Ginge, you know, he's done it with Simon Minter, Sidemen, and he's also done an interview with Malcolm Minicon as well. He was a winner on the night for the Misfits event that Abbas went to yesterday, man. But and then Saturdays, you know, we do watch along. So guys, if there's a specific watch along that you want us to do, just drop us a DM in the socials, just go in the description, and we're more than happy to oblige, just depending on what it is. And then Sundays, we're obviously back here with the roundup. So that's the full schedule for the people.
Yeah, guys, listen, have a lovely, productive week ahead. And we shall see you on Wednesday. Peace and love.
It's another band. All the Muslim cars now, whichever get up. Light up my card with a sweet one, please. Someone flicks me.